Hey everybody, it's Professor Steins, and today I'm going to kind of walk you through how to install WordPress on XAMPP. WordPress is a content management system for managing websites, and a lot of different people use it. Kind of can look through WordPress.org is kind of the open source version of WordPress. There's also a WordPress.com that kind of allows you to buy hosting and a domain name, and that uses the WordPress suite. But you don't really have to do WordPress.com. You can kind of get WordPress.org, and it'll kind of give you the file and how you can use it to anywhere you want. It's kind of an open source deal. So I'm going to kind of click on download WordPress and hit this guy over here to get it going. Kind of see I already hit it once, but it's kind of gone now. While that's running, I'm going to come over to XAMPP and go ahead and start it up. Start up Apache and MySQL. And kind of roll over to localhost while I'm at it. Make sure it's working. I'm going to go into PHP admin. Basically on WordPress, what we're going through is you'll see it in here somewhere as you read through the website, it's kind of like the 5-minute install. So anyway, now that I'm kind of in the server, what I need to do is make a database for this guy so we can WordPress has something to use. So I'm going to kind of go to databases and create a database called WordPress, and kind of see it over here. And now what I want to do is I want to make a user that can kind of access this database. So I'm going to kind of go back and look at the base server, go to users, come down here to add a new user. And I'm going to call him WordPress user. The host is going to be localhost, not the wildcard character. And then just a simple, just typing in password for password. Probably should use something better, but this is kind of a demonstration. And so I don't really want to give him any global privileges, and I don't want to kind of create a database for him since I did that in kind of the first step. So I'm just going to kind of hit go. And here's the SQL statement that got executed. And so now if I kind of look back on the users panel, I have a WordPress user here. Doesn't really have any privileges yet because we didn't give him anything. So what we need to do though is we need to add him to the WordPress database. So I'm going to go to edit privileges. And this is kind of the global list, but we don't want the global, we want database specific. And so we're going to click on WordPress, click go, and I'm going to give him basically all control over his database. Click go. And so that's kind of the SQL statement that got executed to give him rights. So if I kind of look at my WordPress database now, I don't have any tables in it, but if I go to privileges, there's my WordPress user, and he should be good to go. So, okay, I finished downloading. So here's my zip file. I'm just going to extract it and let it go. And this might take a minute. It's not that big file size wise, but it's a lot of files. So it might take a minute or two. But WordPress is pretty neat. I'm just going to see if I could find. Mouse seems a bit sticky. So kind of see the requirements and what's required. Let's see how our still extracting. Mouse seems to be dying on me. Either that or it's just running really slow. So in my XAMPP folder, I'm going to go ahead and kind of go up to my HD docs folder and create me a new folder in here called WordPress. Didn't get the rename. which I guess I could have just dragged this folder over, but instead I'm gonna just go in here and hit Control A to select them all and Control C to copy them. And then I'm going to go to my WordPress folder here and kind of put them all there. And hopefully this won't take too long. Alright, so I got my kind of my files in place. I got my database user good to go. So I'm going to kind of open a new tab. And we're going to go to localhost/WordPress. And it's going to kind of walk us through a little bit of a setup. So going in English, and we kind of already did this step and kind of created these things, but if you hadn't done it yet, this is when you need to do it. So the database name is WordPress, and the username was WordPress_user, and the password was password. Database is on localhost, and we're going to kind of make WP underscore to be the prefix on all our tables. So hopefully if we did good and it worked, and it looks like it did, connection is good. If you kind of got an error here, then you probably need to go back and look at your WordPress user, make sure that when you're on the WordPress database and go to privileges, that you can see this user here, and that he's kind of got all the privileges. So, and if you kind of need to create a new user, you can kind of come back to click on server and go to users and add a new user here. Just don't give them global privileges. You kind of want users to only have access to what you want them to have access to. So anyway, that's we're good. So I'm going to hit run the install, and so it's going to kind of ask for some basic settings. And so I'm just going to put some in. It's my test website. And create a default user called admin, and I should use a really complicated password, but I'm not. I'm just going to change it to password and say that that's okay. And I'm going to put my email address in too, because it's going to kind of send emails to me. And yeah, turn that off. Alright, it's going to take a minute to think about it. Hopefully it won't take too long. So it looks like everything went good. And we're going to log in. So basically kind of what happened is, if I come back to the WordPress database now, and now I have a whole bunch of tables. So this is kind of what the auto installer did, is it made a whole bunch of tables in WordPress. And I can kind of click on WP users and see I got one record in there, and that's my admin, and the password is salted. So even though it's just password, it's still kind of this is kind of called being hashed in the database. So someone can't know that I have password, even though they could still probably hit it with a rainbow or a bond attack or something like that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and log into WordPress, and that's what I kind of started in step one. So this is kind of like the admin side of WordPress, and kind of how you can work pages and stuff. Kind of come here, middle mouse button opens things in a new tab. So I visit my website, and this is kind of what WordPress looks like out of the box. It's kind of still got this little admin menu at the top, but if it was out on the real web, it wouldn't be like that. So but it's pretty neat. You can kind of look at it both ways. If you're kind of logged in like I am, you can kind of just go in and hit edit and change the post and write some different stuff in here and do all kinds of neat things. Let's see if I can find a picture real quick that I can throw in there. So I just kind of grabbed a random picture off my desktop. Kind of can even just drag it in and put it there. WordPress will kind of load up the image, kind of assign some text over here, kind of give it some description and some alt text probably. You can kind of even change the alignment and kind of how it looks in the post. So I'm kind of going to hit update over here on the right. And kind of click this view post button. And so now I got an image. Probably need to move it a little bit in the editor, but it's pretty easy to work with. It just kind of takes a little bit of time and kind of knowing where things are going to go. So hopefully this time it'll look a little bit better. So it's pretty neat. One of the other things that you can do is it's got to customize your site, and a lot of steps that can go in step one. A lot of what makes WordPress different is they have themes. So these are the three that come default with WordPress. This is the 2015 theme, but it's pretty easy to kind of just switch to a different theme. So this is the 2014 theme. I kind of hit refresh, it'll look completely different. So WordPress has a whole lot of themes that are kind of available for free, and some of them do kind of cost money, but there's a whole lot of themes out here. If you kind of look through them, I could download just about kind of any one of them really, and kind of put them into action. So this one kind of says college. Let's see what it's about. I'm going to hit download. And it's kind of getting theme out. I'm going to extract it, and it's kind of happened on my other monitor, so I apologize. Oh, no. Progress window showed up over here. I guess the mouse gets sticky when I'm unzipping files and trying to record at the same time. And I like WordPress. I probably know it better than most of the other content management systems are out there. It's just kind of the one I've kind of chose early on and decided I want to know the most about it. So I kind of have a theme, and it's going to be called college, and that's the folder for it. So in WordPress, this is kind of my WordPress install files. I'm going to go to WP content and then themes. And you kind of see those are where the other three themes are. So I'm just going to drag college in. Let's see, now I just need to kind of go back to this themes page and hit refresh. So now here's my college theme. I can kind of give it a live preview for it. I'm just going to go ahead and activate it and flip back to my page and see what it looks like. It's pretty neat. I think I would kind of change the color schemes a little bit, but it's not too bad. Anyway, there's also on WordPress there's also plugins. So themes kind of give it a look, but plugins kind of make do custom stuff. XAMPP is one that kind of keeps spammers off your back if you have a lot of comment forms and stuff that are open. You kind of turn those off in WordPress if you really want to, though. And a lot of these other widgets are kind of popular. I end up using menus a lot, so I'll kind of look in the menus and see kind of what some different menus look like. Usually kind of can click on a theme and kind of go to screenshots. Sometimes like this one's kind of got a video about it, but sometimes even the screenshots will kind of show you how it works. But menus kind of come standard in WordPress on its own anyway, so it's kind of in this appearance menu. You can go to menus, and so it kind of looks like there's already a menu there with a link to our home page and our sample page. So that would be somewhere. I don't see it. I guess it's not added to the page. Let's see, I'm going to go to themes and customize it a little bit. Kind of choose menus, menu locations, kind of select a menu. It didn't look like I have one created. Maybe I did. But you can kind of change some other things in here. You can change a background image. So if I wanted to put this guy as my background image, kind of change some things about it. Here's kind of a live preview over to the right. Let's see if I can open up a monitor and get a little more screen room in there. So I could kind of say not to repeat it, and background position is maybe to center or something, or to the right. Interesting. And right now it's kind of I can make it fixed on the background where it doesn't scroll with the site, or I can kind of make it so that it scrolls with the site. Some kind of basic options, different. You could do the same thing in CSS on your own. I'm not going to change anything here because background image look a little wonky. But anyway, that kind of gets you into WordPress, and you can kind of change different settings. So it looks like this one might have a premium. It would probably cost money if you wanted to get the premium version of it or something like that. Or maybe they do it for you. Give you a custom theme based on it or something. Interesting. But it's WordPress is good because it's a collaborative tool. So anyway, you can kind of add users to it. So that's the default user I made. But you can kind of go in and add new users. And they have different roles. So right now I'm in the administrator role, which basically means I can kind of change anything in WordPress that I want to. But some of these other roles have less permission. So like an editor can kind of only change pages and articles, can't really change the settings of WordPress. An author can kind of write their own stuff but not change other people's stuff. And a contributor can, difference between contributor and author is that an author can publish live, but a contributor cannot. And a subscriber is just kind of like a basic user account. But it's pretty neat. There's lots of tools, lots of settings. You can kind of change some of the default stuff that you kind of started. So if you want to change your title and taglines and things like that, you could do that in here, or change some of how passwords and emails and stuff work. You can kind of change what the home page was, or how many posts show on a page, or kind of how the article feed works. Discussions, you can kind of turn off the comment system so that right now someone could come in and post a comment and a reply, but you could kind of turn that all off in here. Kind of turn some things off. I don't really want anybody to be able to comment, so I'm going to kind of turn off all the commenting options and save changes. So if I kind of look back at my page, then leave reply should be all gone. It should be. Oops. There we go. And so now that comment box doesn't show. That way it's kind of more like a website, not really like a discussion thing. And discussions, if you have them kind of open, your spam box might hit you a lot. So pretty neat. You can kind of change even the link structure a little bit. So your links up in the top of WordPress look a little bit different depending on where you go. So like right now it's kind of showing it the date. This is a post, so it's kind of showing the date and everything. But it's pretty neat. And so hopefully this gets you into WordPress and gets you thinking about, you can kind of use the content management system as you like. Hopefully I'll make a couple more videos. WordPress is kind of my first video, but maybe I'll make one for Drupal and Joomla too. And kind of see if I can get those working in XAMPP. And you kind of open it up, like just get into making posts, and kind of you have to read WordPress a lot to kind of figure out what's the difference between posts and pages. Basically a page is kind of static, and a post is something that kind of has a category and a timestamp and runs in a feed and stuff like that. But there's a lot of options in here, and a lot of stuff that's kind of available out here that you could kind of download, install, and try it out too, and kind of get familiar using WordPress. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful, and if you have any questions, let me know. Have a good one. Bye.